I know nobody likes $70 games nowadays, but if the game is good and they add a lot and they do so much shit to it, you can't really control that. Budgets for games are going higher. They should go lower, in my opinion. Don't make games expensive.
A budget is needed for big games.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
you, you can't
exactly.
you
So, but
can't but
here's
you
the
but you,
thing.
you can't say I wish they would not have a big budget. But if they're trying to make something that's needed, then yeah, they use that for a reason. They have a big budget for a
Here's the
reason.
thing.
If a game is getting less money at the start to work with, they don't give more creative freedom or more time. No, they're running on a deficit because they don't have as much as Nintendo made for Breath of the Wild because they had 500 million. Well, we had a measly $1,000. They don't get the creative freedom to do that because they have to work with what they have. They have to get a cheap version of Unity. They got to get cheap voice actors. They got to get cheap textures. They got to do this because they have less money. Less money does not give developers more time and freedom to make what they want. I don't think that's true.
Yes, they do. They
What?
do.
Less money? What? No. Risk of Rain return. Waiting on Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, P3R. I think one other game. But what's what's P3R? But Persona. Rebirth, that should be coming soon. Persona, I don't know. I kind of tuned it out because I saw it was like $80. So I was like, yeah, no, like
$80 for Persona? That's not
okay.
worth
I'm
it.
exaggerating. I think it's 70, but even still,
Still not worth it.
honestly, that's pretty scummy. And I can't play another Persona game. I still have to beat 4 and 5. 4 I really like. 5 is kind of whatever. Both February? Okay. Release date trailer for Rebirth? No, I didn't. But I get it cheaper. Yes, that's true, but like I just hate the fact that it is 70, like legit. That's my only problem. Rebirth trailer. It makes sense? Yeah. But which one is it? This one's first. What's up with this stuff? That can't be it. I refuse. But even so, I think Sarah is still getting it. Even if man, don't get nah, he's definitely gonna get Persona 3. I don't believe it.
Oh yeah, sorry.
That's it. Vincent is not playable. What's up with this thumbnail? No, he wants it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he can hate on it, but I 100%. I know he's still gonna get it. $70 and all.
Hey,
Hello,
Chad.
Chippity Chop.
For what? For Persona?
Yeah, I'm saying because I know Sars have his gripes with Persona 3, but like I'm pretty sure he's still gonna get it.
Yeah, no, Persona 3, it's like it's gonna be the best way of playing it because you don't have to deal with all the bullshit from the console version or the bullshit
Well,
from
yeah,
portable.
of course.
Also 70 for the game with how much they're adding is worth.
Chip, you're actually justifying that? No way.
Yes, I'm
Oh
justifying it.
no.
It's on a new engine that Atlas haven't used, and it looks really nice. Although all the cutscenes and everything is voice acted for the first time, not just like important scenes or stuff like that, or little like quips and like little giggles and whatnot. Every character is voice acted now from like head to toe. Um, it's probably gonna be nice. I don't think every game should be 70. I honestly agree, but
I don't think that just making a new engine, adding new content
it's not making a new
warrants.
engine. This is just a real 5.
Well, new engine from the original. I don't think that warrants $70 price tag, even if they add all that content.
Well,
It's like
it isn't just the engine though. I said that all the characters are fully voice acted from
no,
head to
yeah,
toe, not just
no,
one
yeah,
thing.
that was included. I said they did new
New
engine. They
gameplay
add,
mechanic.
yeah, I'm including. I know what all they did, but like I don't think it's justified to be in
Revamped combat.
70 because
I mean, 70 for fighting games doesn't justify either, but we still buy them like crazy, don't we?
wait, have I bought a $7 fighting game? Have I?
Rebuying Grand Blue isn't justifiable. We're getting, but
Is
we're
that
getting it,
70?
it's not 70, but you're rebuying fucking Grand Blue
Yeah,
again.
but it's not 70. My gripe is that it's 70.
But you're
Like
still rebuying the game, bro.
I get it. I'm not knocking their work on the game, how much they put into it, actually having to remake the game, but I don't think it's $7 worth
I mean,
because
you're
like
gonna get Tekken 7, right?
okay,
That's gonna be
hold on, let me
$70.
finish that point. Because like Persona, like what you call it, 5, of course, that's a last gen game, but that game had a lot of content, and it was 60. Even with Persona 5 R coming out, that's still being 60. And basically, quote unquote, the same game with added content, and that's still 60. You can get millions of hours out of that. This game, yeah, I get it. It was like fully remade, cutscenes, voice acting, new blah 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 blah. I get it, but 70. I'm not gonna work they put into it, but 70 is actually wild.
70 is fine,
I'm at Atlas
especially with how
Sore.
much, especially with how much money like games like take nowadays.
Again, I'm not okay. No,
It's it's like, I mean, like, I'm justifying it in the sense like, hey, if it was 60, I'll get it. If it's 70, I'm still getting it. I really
how
don't
much? How
care.
much was
P5 Royal,
No, no, no. How
60,
much was Forspoken? That's
70.
70. Can you justify that being 70?
Okay, so it's a bad game. Persona 3 is actually good.
So you're only saying it should be a quote unquote good game for it to be 70? This technically had a lot of work into it. A lot of people in the team took years to make, voice acting, content. Do you think that's this could be justified be 70, right? It's a God, no, bro.
To be fair, this is, you're talking about Square Enix, the company that would sell you like a shitty port of Final Fantasy 1 for like $30. I really don't think I really don't think
I don't
saying Square Enix is a good thing.
It doesn't matter who makes it. It's about
It
you
does
saying,
matter.
no, no, no. Well, in a little bit, but I'm saying like you're saying, oh, they added so much love and care into it. Well, there's love and care into this. It didn't
Square?
turn out good,
Yeah,
but
yes, yeah,
this
Forspoken's made with Square.
in your eyes, this should also be worth 70. Like this is technically a more grander experience than P5 or P3. Because this is literally next gen. It's
They
not a
did put a
remake.
lot of work into it. It's still bad. It's still
I know.
$70. I
So
can't
you're just
control that.
biased that it's a game or company you like. That's why you're
I
saying
mean,
you can do 70.
I mean, besides that, I don't like any Square games. So you picked the worst example of all time.
I picked that to use the
Uh,
example like P3 is worth 70, but this isn't because you don't like Forspoken.
Oh,
Even
I
though
just said in
even
my
though
eyes it isn't worth 70, but it is $70. It does have the visual fidelity. It's using the Unreal 5 engine. I believe that's what they use for it. It does have DLC included in it. It does have a lot of visually impactful things. It's still not a good game. It's still 70. I still think according to Square Enix it was worth 70. No, bitch, it's Unreal Engine 4. It's still Unreal Engine.
I just think it's just I mean of course I could be biased as well because Tekken's 70. I could
Tekken
say
is 70, yes.
I could turn around and say, oh, it's worth 70, but say P3 isn't worth 7 or yeah, P3 isn't worth 70. So I guess it has a little bit bias, but like if you're gonna use that argument for P3, you can use it for anything. Like, oh, there's a lot of work, blah blah blah. Um
Yeah.
Same thing like with Tears of the Kingdom being 70. Was that worth it?
Yeah.
You think
So
so?
I think, yeah, it was basically a bigger game. So the biggest game on this on the Switch.
100%. Okay.
It's like you can't really. Here's the thing, too. I know nobody likes $70 games nowadays, but if the game is good and they add a lot and they do so much shit to it, you can't really control that. Budgets for games are going higher. They should go lower, in my opinion. Don't make games expensive.
I mean, well,
But
budgets are different than like the asking price.
well, no, it isn't. It is not. Budgets are the reason why games are going to $70. People are spending too much money on games. They shouldn't.
Well, it's because of what they're trying to do with the game, you know.
No, it's not because of what they're trying to do with the game. It's just they're just like gaming has become so big that they think dumping money into just a company to make a game is gonna like
Well, I'm
get. It's
saying,
not
but
even It's not even inflation, Steven.
they're dumping money to
Not even
make the
inflation.
game better. Like, you know, they put a lot more
No,
money
they're
into
not.
Tears of the
They are
no, no,
not.
no. Like they're putting more money into Tears of the Kingdom they did in like Twilight Princess, right? That's why it's like
Yeah,
I know it's a different era,
that's a future game too. But here's the thing:
but I'm saying
nowadays,
like,
games
but you're saying
all
that
go on the same console. These budgets for games are going so high up. It is insane amounts of money. I think companies that do open world games those are the only times where I think maybe a bigger budget is worth it. You know, you gotta add a lot of side quests, a lot of characters. You know how much money GTA 6 is gonna cost them? A shit ton. But guess what? They're gonna make that in less than 3 seconds. But in the case of like Forspoken, a game that Square Enix barely advertised, a game that was new, made by a third-party company that they just got for no reason, I don't think them dumping around almost $1 billion on that game was worth it.
New
You know,
paragraph.
you should not spend this insane amount of money. But they should. But it's like budgets, like monetary reasons. They're making $70 games because they're dumping hundreds of millions of dollars on a game that is probably gonna be a 44 on Metacritic.
You realize a budget is needed for, like you said, big games.
Yeah,
You
yeah, exactly.
you
So,
can't
but here's the thing.
you can't say I wish they would not have a big budget. But if they're trying to make something that's needed, then yeah, they use that for a reason. They have a big budget for a
Here's the
reason.
thing: games do not need big budgets. Some games do not need big
Well, of
budgets
course,
at
yeah,
all.
like Among Us didn't need a
There,
big budget, but Tekken 8, yes, needs a big budget. That's two different things, of course, yeah.
but that's a different game too.
Yeah, everything's different. So what are you saying? Of course, some games don't need big budgets, but some games do need big budgets, like Tears of the Kingdom versus Among Us, right?
Tekken 8 is the only reason that game is getting that. Like, we don't even know how much money that game is getting. It is not getting as much money as other Bandai Namco games. You'd be surprised.
I mean, I don't know, maybe not, but like again, I get what you're saying, but I don't think the argument should be games shouldn't be getting big budget because it's costing us
I generally
70.
do think games do not need to get bigger budgets. I think games should get a fined budget. I think they should get like, you know, because like here's the thing, they get these insane amount of budgets because they're gonna try adding so much shit. Games don't focus on like doing QAs and stuff like that, QA testing and shit like that. Games don't barely do that anymore. They really, really rarely do that. They dump that budget into the director's like just fucking giant
Well, how do you
pockets
know
during
that? How do you
overtime.
know that? How do you know it doesn't get spread out into like the graphics, the music, the team, the development
Dude,
team, the right? How do you know? Like, how do you know what how the budget is like separated with that? You know, because it goes through everything. Yeah, it goes to the marketing, it goes to the directors too, it goes to the writers, it goes to the voice actors, it goes to everything into that. You know.
the best thing I can say is Activision Blizzard Epic Games. There you go.
Wait, what?
Active any game from Activision Blizzard as of recently, and Epic Games as a whole.
Are you saying they don't like pay their people?
What do you think? A bunch of people got fired.
Wait, that's nothing to do with like a budget. That's just a
That
dumb
has to do
company.
with money. They're using money for the incorrect things. And you can say, oh, but the budget is how they pay their employees. That is true. But guess what? They don't do that. They don't use the budget anymore to pay their
Well, that's a
employees.
different question.
They rarely are.
It's like, yeah, that budget for like movies, should they put more into like the writers and stuff like that instead of like, you know, whatever else?
You
Yeah.
can't really say movies because then you got things like fucking Marvel. Like fucking goddamn She-Hulk cussed it more than like I like cussed it around the same money as Iron Man or something like that. I
No,
forgot what it was.
it was the Avengers. Like She-Hulk
It was the Avengers, yeah.
as a whole costed more than like
Yeah, and
the
guess what has more quality and care put into it.
but
That's
you
what
realize, wait, is it, wait, I got on a misquote. Is it like the Avengers series as a whole, or is it like an Avengers
just
movie?
just the first Avenger movie had the same budget as She-Hulk the series.
So yeah, and that makes sense. I'm not saying She-Hulk is as good as Avengers 1, but like since the times has changed, it took a lot more to make She-Hulk than it did with Avengers 1, because Avengers 1 didn't have that much CGI. It had yeah, it took, I'm not saying it was took like a dollar, but it took less to make Avengers 1 at the time than does Shield, because they did use a lot of CGI and whatever else they did. I don't know. I tried to get that out of my memory. But yeah. So that's the difference between like the budget
But
and
here,
like how much you
but
like.
yeah, no. Here's the thing, dude. They spent as much money as it took to make the Avengers on a thing that looked worse. That is what's happening with just games. Yeah, and yeah, this year has been great for gaming. Don't get me wrong. There's been a lot of stylized games. Like, one of the most popular games of this year was Baldur's Gate, and that wasn't even made by a huge company. That was made by a decently small company that did get funding from other people, and they actually spend their funding correctly to make a big game. I
Um,
believe they have I believe they have a good publisher, but the company that made, Baldur's Gate isn't that huge.
100 million. So Baldur's Gate 3 had a 100 million budget.
And yeah, that is perfect. You know how much money companies are spending on games nowadays?
Give me I'm gonna do Forspoken. Forspoken.
Forspoken took down an insane amount
Forspoken
of money
reportedly cost
and a
a
public.
same 100 million.
And here's
Again,
the thing, and it took down a company and a shit ton of money, and is gonna become a tax write-off soon.
everything's a tax write-off. But again, so like we're just biased by like what the end product is, which is fair, but I still think it's a difference in saying like a
And
game
here's the thing,
games shouldn't have
and
big budgets.
here's the thing, they spent $100 million on an open world game, which Baldur Gate is also an open world game, and it has more than Forspoken, and it had the same amount of budget, but it was all in a third person perspective. It was a top down RPG game. It's different. It's literally Dungeons and Dragons, and it had $100 million, and it did way more than Forspoken ever did with its budget, plus being backed by Square Enix, one of the biggest Japanese companies in the world.
I mean, true. So you're just
It's it's not how
you're
it's not how
criticizing
much.
you're criticizing the end product, right?
I'm criticizing how they have this huge budgets of money. They just ruin it. They use these like about $100 million nowadays for gaming, especially with Forspoken as an example, and Baldur's Gate 3. Those games are huge. Those games are open world. Baldur's Gate in specific has so many side quests that people got to part 2 of the game like literally 2 weeks after the game release. The game is humongous. It has so much shit. Every character talks, every character has multiple voice lines, every character, and that is 100 million compared to Forspoken, where the voice actress was bad. It didn't have as much side quests. It didn't have as much mechanics as in depth as Baldur's Gate, and that had $100 million. My thing is, they used $100 million and they did it correctly. They had so much shit into the game. The game looks pretty. The game is voice acted up to the head and toe. Gameplay wise is perfect. Mechanic wise is nice, and they used 100 million, which is what Forspoken costed.
So
And
again,
Forspoken,
you are criticizing the end product. You are.
I'm criticizing how much money they had,
Yeah, no,
and
but
they
like
did
even
worse
still,
than
so
other
again,
games.
these had the same amount of money, allegedly. They had the same amount of money used on a game. You're criticizing the end goal, the end product. That's exactly what you're saying, which
I'm,
is
I'm
fair. Which is
criticizing.
no,
I'm
that's fair.
criticizing how much money they did.
No, it's fair because Baldur's Gate used 100 million correctly in your eyes. Forspoken didn't. So again, you're criticizing the end product, and like I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, true, but at the same time, you know, with the amount of things Forspoken had compared to Baldur's Gate, you can think maybe $70 million would have been a fine thing. That
Not
$30 million could have
really.
gone to anything else. Yes,
I mean,
yes.
I'm being good faith, but I
You,
think
you, you know how you
I
know how
think
short.
again it could have turned out bad. They maybe didn't have the best team to work on Forspoken, but like I still think 100 million they did what they needed to do with it. I don't care if like yeah
True.
I don't know
Dale,
oh my
Zelda,
god
dale,
hold
pásame la
up.
trifuerza que tengo hambre. Tráeme una botella de soda grande.
Okay.
I don't know if the Square Enix took 90 million of it and 10 million went to the game. I don't know what they did. I don't know if those some shady practices, but um God, Rev, you actually used the train of thought. Oh God.
Right.
It
What
doesn't
is
even help me. Oh God, Rev, I hate you. Okay. My basically my thing is you just care about the end product, basically.
I care
Long story
about
short.
not spending money
But
incorrectly.
also, you said you think 90 or 70 would be good, but you don't know that. You don't know
I,
how much
I
they
do
did
know
need,
that.
how much went into the development, the shading, the textures, the modeling, the voice acting, the everything. Like, because again, some of y'all want to be game directors, some of y'all want to be game designers. Y'all don't know how much actually goes into it. So I think 100 million is justified. Um,
No, it isn't
I
for
mean,
that
I
game.
think, but we're just talking like literally as like just dumb armchair gamers. We don't even know. Um,
All right,
but
but okay, let's do another. Let's take another side to this.
okay,
Time and
wait,
and
wait,
call up
wait,
time.
hold up. Back to like the
Yeah.
Marvel thing. Of course, yeah, like She-Hulk took the same amount of money to make as Avengers, but again, it's just the different times. Like, again, She-Hulk did come out bad, but a lot went into it, regardless if you like it or not. A lot went into Avengers 1, but
A lot
again,
went into getting Italian to
the,
work in an office.
the times were different. Because like 100 million, I'm gonna use that example. 100 million for Avengers then wouldn't cut $100 million for She-Hulk. Now that's why they had to up the budget because it takes more for the effects, for acting, for the writing. Again, whether it's good or bad doesn't matter, but it takes more to make things now. That's my argument. Yeah. Or if I have captions because I can't remember what I think of some of the Zelda in my ear. I have to remember what I said.
Another good thing I would say is time. Because again, even though these games are completely different,
Time? What's time?
time for like how long it took from
Oh,
development to because Baldur's Gate at 100 million, and guess how long that game has been in development? For years. Forspoken literally just appeared out of nowhere in like Square Enix. It just appeared out of nowhere.
well, duh. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what do you mean, like, if out of nowhere? Isn't that how games have to come out?
No, some games take a long time from
Oh, hey, Rob.
like a good example would be like Cyberpunk. That game has been in like development on and off, and even just in straight development since like 2013, 2012, if my years are correctly around that era, before 2015, if I'm correct. But then you got games like Forspoken. I think Forspoken started development not even that long ago.
I mean, let me look at it. Forspoken
Like
release
development time.
development.
I don't think it
It got
says a specific
delayed.
year.
It does not.
It did get delayed. That is true.
Yeah. Okay. So Cyberpunk. I'm gonna do a little pivot. Cyberpunk took 436 million to make, including updates and DLC. That's how much Cyberpunk cost to make. Do you think that is justified, or
Oh, yes, it is.
even with the bad launch, you think that's justified?
Even with the bad launch
I
experience from like PC and even all that. But here's the thing. I think that amount of money, that is also including DLC. So if we get rid of the DLC, that would probably be like around how much would that
but how
be?
can you justify
It's an
400
it's a
million if you're saying I wish games had a less budget because that's just too much money for a game?
well, in the case of Cyberpunk, in the case of this is besides being a CD Projekt Red game, which is the people that made The Witcher. The Witcher is also a huge game. They have in the sense that it's also they're a trusted developer. That is also a thing. You got to have trust when it comes to this. Um it's an open world game with a lot of detail. It's an open world game with multiple areas. A lot of the map is explorable from like buildings that you don't think you can enter to just like literally where you live. It's super humongous. uh Mechanic wise, there's a lot of driving, there's different guns, different mechanics, upgrading V because it has a skill tree. You also have a skill tree, you also have that. uh Character design on their own engine, which they fucking modified to hell and back. The
Wait.
fact that you can, yeah, go for it. I love you too, Riv.
Wait, damn.
Sure, I love you. Hey, dude,
So
I love you. Yeah, go for it.
why?
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot. I forgot. God, I'm done.
Let me look at another open world game.
I promise you I had a question. I
Don't
promise.
you worry.
But,
Now here's the thing, too. If you wanna do like a comparison between into a game that has
oh,
a game that is
I want to
art.
say, didn't this come out of
Yeah,
This came out of 60 or 70?
this came out 60. This was a $60
So
game.
yeah, so it doesn't matter. Like this game had all this content, shaky launch, yeah, but all this content, all this stuff, but it came out at 60. So that's why I think Persona could have also been 60, and this took way more money to make and a lot more into it than Persona 3. Persona 3 does not justify being $70. I don't care. It's literally just an RPG. Yeah, they added
Okay,
stuff,
so
they put time
so
into
here's
it,
a
but
here's
this is way,
another thing
even
too.
with this being a over $400 million budget, this is with DLC. So I'm gonna say, let's say if it's 30 million for Cyberpunk 1, that's still, and they made it 60. That's
Okay,
that's
so
a
here's
good
another
deal.
thing that you need to understand about gaming and shit like that. It's also just how much money they're gonna get back. Cyberpunk was easily gonna make its money back in less than a day. It did.
Okay.
It's like GTA 5. GTA 5 cost it like back in 2013, 200 and something million. And guess how much money it made back in less than an hour? $1 billion.
Right. Yeah.
So here's the thing: like these companies know that they're gonna get their money back, even with how much money they spent. Forspoken, they 100% knew they were not gonna make their money back. They
No,
knew
they
100%.
didn't know that. They definitely were trusting that game.
My
They
ass is true.
I know they were trusting the game because they put a lot into it. 100 million for Forspoken. New IP, all that stuff. They were probably disappointed by like the sales, but like they probably didn't make their money back. But they definitely got, well, they definitely used their money to like in the right places, right? I don't know.
I really don't think they used their money on the right places at all for Forspoken. And that is not me being biased. That's just a fact.
I mean, maybe not, or
Use
like maybe they did, but like just the people working on it sucked. I don't know. Like we really just don't know.
the people working on it do not suck. It's how it's directed, it's how higher ups act, it's how higher ups do. For an example, higher ups are assholes, especially when it comes to Cyberpunk. The higher up literally ruined the game's launch.
New
They
paragraph.
kept trying to pushing it, even though the developers were like, please do not do this. The game will launch bad. And guess what? Higher ups still launched it, and then the whole thing with literally refunding the game on PlayStation, which is a thing that has never been done in their lives, happened, dude. The higher ups ruin a lot of things. This is literally how things happen. You think like the reason why the game launched in the state it was because the higher ups needed the money from the companies that were funding the company. So you get it. It's literally all about money. They
Well,
spend the
yeah,
money incorrectly, and decisions are done horribly by people that are controlling the money.
possibly.
It's not the developers.
I can
It has never been the
understand
developers.
that. Yeah, but maybe. But the game did get delayed, so like they were thinking of the game somewhat. They weren't thinking of just, oh, I need money. But they probably were.
Awful take do not defend the corpo. I am like person. I will always make money. No need to raise it to 70.
True, based. That's what I'm saying. Like again, my thing was like Cyberpunk took over 400 million to make, and it was still 60. Even with all the DLC, all this stuff, all the attitude, the game was still 60 at launch. Persona, I can't justify that being 70, even if, yeah, I get it. They had a new this, new that. Oh my god, cutscenes about, but 70 for Persona? I don't think 40 million went into Persona. I don't even think 100 million went into Persona. If it did, look, shoot me down. I don't know. But even still, that's not justified.
Let me see how much the
Make hella
budget for it
profit
is estimated. Let me see how much the budget is estimated for it.
for Persona 3.
It's not out yet.
Yeah. Reddit's saying like around like 2 million. I don't know. 20
That is
bucks.
not.
That's just like
that is like Persona. That is Persona 3, not
yeah. Yeah. So I agree. A budget could be used in the wrong ways. Corporations could be slick and be like, all right, we have $100 million budget, but I'm gonna take most of it and make sure you get this game out by next year, or else blah blah blah. Yeah, that's possibly that's true. But I'm still thinking even for Forspoken that went in the right thing. It's just like the game didn't turn out right and it was delayed. So like I don't know.
It's not just a remake, Void. That I will say, it's not just a remake. It's literally just changing the entire game and how it plays.
No, again, I'm not knocking them. I never knocked them, but like
no, I'm saying Void. I'm saying Void.
Yeah.
Your name Void? Is your name Void Toon?
But I've been saying that. I'm saying like again, I get everything went into it. They took an ugly game, they made it good, they added cutscenes, they added voice acting, they added new mechanics, they added new blah blah blah. But all that to justify 70? No.
I generally know a lot about game development. It's just like
Which is why it's crazy why I think you would say games
because
should
it's
no
fair.
wait listen. I don't know why you would say games should be getting less of a budget in this current day. I don't understand that. I don't understand that.
Because like here's the thing. Games are really under delivering when it comes to these companies just throwing money. Look at Modern Warfare 3. Look at that game. I know it's Call of Duty. I know it's City Peak on, but look at the budget for that game. Look at the budget for any Call of Duty game
Was that
since Modern
70? Was
Warfare.
that 70?
Yes, Call of Duty is $70. And guess,
Gotcha.
Tune, do me a favor. Look up Bobby Kotick. Look up that man right now and tell me
Who?
the game is worth $70. Bobby Kotick. The guy that owns
Oh.
Activision until
What
2024.
about him?
It's just horrible. The end.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I get it. There are $70 games out there. There's 2K $70. There is the Call of
I
Duty's
ain't
worth
gotta get that
70.
either.
But again, I can agree those aren't worth 70 because like for 2K, nothing else went into 2K being 70 than it just on another console. Like so like
Exactly.
I agree with that. But you can have that same argument for like any other game that's like
Well, yeah,
being
but
70.
here's the thing. Here's the thing with this game. They're using a completely new engine. This game is being made from the ground up. It isn't like they're just taking the assets from the previous engine. They had to just throw that all out and make a game from like top to bottom. This is a completely new game, new assets, new everything. You can't use the same models from Persona 5 Royal, Persona 5 Strikers, Persona 5 whatever, and just drop them in there. This is completely different. This is basically it's the remake of a Persona 3, a game that came out in like 2002, but it's still a literally just new game. That's what a remake is. Then why are you saying this?
No, again,
You
I'm
understand how much money they're spending to just create the whole
but
game again on a new engine.
Cyberpunk used 40 million and this was still a $60 game. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, they have another expansion, blah blah DLC, but like that's still a $60 game and they put 40 million into that over that.
40 million 400.
Oh, I'm sorry, 400 million. They put 400 million into that game and it was still 60. That being a grander experience than Baldur's Gate, Forspoken, Persona combined. So I don't understand why Persona gets a pass because it's Persona.
Another thing is they use their own in-house engine. They didn't have to spend money on a licenses of a new engine.
Wait, who are you talking about? Like what?
Cyberpunk and CD Projekt Red. They use their own engine. They use their own engine.
I mean, I don't
in-house
think.
engine they've been using. Yes, they did.
No, I'm saying I don't think that really matters.
It doesn't matter. Especially because here's the thing. I do not think you guys know how much money it takes to like just get Unity, get Unreal, get all these stuff. That kind of shit costs too much. It's a lot more than you expect.
Wait,
So,
then
especially if
why are you saying they should lower budgets for games nowadays if it costs a lot?
because that's engine. Actual like money wise, it's another thing. Budget goes into like everything else, not just the engine.
Right.
It goes into so much shit.
Yeah, right.
But
And yeah.
but they're not using the budget correctly. They're trying to make these games so much shit that they can't put in. You know.
That might be true. I mean, yeah, that might be true.
This is a massive corporation. Persona doesn't sell as much as you guys think. Persona 5 is popular, yes, but I don't think Persona 3 is gonna, sell more than P5.
Maybe not.
It's
Yeah.
not
I
gonna
mean,
do
yeah.
that.
I don't think it'll sell more than P. I think P4
doesn't
is
need
like
to be
creeping
70 for them
offensive.
to make money. That's the thing we do not know. Sega is like one of the only companies that does not share their budget.
Which is why you're saying, you think the budgets are being used into like the wrong areas. You don't know that.
I do know that.
How?
Look at all the games that have come out recently, and like just tell me, and like not this year, because this year has good games, and even then this year has some really bad stinkers. Look at any games as a service game. Look at all those kind of games that like came out and immediately died. They use their budgets incorrectly, and yes, they also die because of how popularity works nowadays.
But it's not the budget's fault. Like using the budget incorrectly doesn't mean equal like a dying game or like a bad game.
It does.
Okay, that was yes, it does equal
I,
a
I,
bad game. But I'm saying like you don't know that they used it in like something totally like not for the game than if they did. You know, you don't know. We don't know how they used their $100 for their game. You know, we don't know that.
it is. There's a lot of cases where it's publicly known.
I
A
mean,
lot of cases where it's
again,
publicly known.
it
A lot
very
of
well
cases
might. It
haven't.
very well might. So again, which is one why I don't understand why if things are really going to the bad place, they should definitely have that right. But like saying starting off your whole argument by saying games should have less of a budget is crazy because of how much games take to make. Any media takes to make movies, music, everything takes a lot to make now. So like decreasing the budget will just decrease the quality
But
because they have
the
less to work with. Um,
no, I don't think so. I really think like having having less money gives these developers an actual idea of what they can do at the moment and what they can do if they have the time and the resources.
no, I feel like
Having
no.
this yes, having these amount of money and resources at the start from the go, it just gives the developers and higher ups, specifically the higher ups, ideas to add so much to the game. A good example would be like the original Dead Space 2 and the original Dead Space 3. These games came out in a time when multiplayer games were ruling. And they had this insane amount of budgets. They were backed by EA, where we need to add a multiplayer or else our game is not going to do. The game did good, the multiplayer didn't. These companies, the more money they have and the more resources they have, the more they think they can add to a game. But having a limited amount of money and limited amount of budget and just limited amount of resources makes these companies and like
Wait. No,
organized and
that's
think,
no limited and less is different. You
well,
said
yes,
giving
limited and
get
less. It's the same thing.
no. Limited. Okay, everyone has a limited amount of money. Like, but like you saying
Uh,
if a game is getting less money at the start to work with, they don't give more creative freedom or more time. No, they're running on a deficit because they don't have as much as Nintendo made for Breath of the Wild because they had 500 million. Well, we had a measly $1,000. They don't get the creative freedom to do that because they have to work with what they have. They have to get the cheap version of Unity. They got to get cheap voice actors. They got to get cheap textures. They got to do this because they have less money. Less money does not give developers more time and freedom to make what they want. I don't think that's true.
yes, they do. They
What
do. That is a thing.
less money? What? No way.
A budget that is smaller makes a team and the director know what they have to do from start to finish.
That's not true.
Yes, that is true though. Toon.
Having more
Having,
money at the start gives you no idea what you're doing. What?
I guess it isn't at the start then. Fuck it. I guess it's like in general because when games are being made, they have a placed a budget. They know how much money they have. So having
Yes.
a like saying, "Hey, let's do, like we're gonna make this game with like a little bit less of what we actually have to use to make it." Because guess what? These people, when you have a director that knows how much time and money they have, even if it's like let's say $50 million, they can have $100 million, but they don't know that yet. You know, a game developer is gonna try, and the game director, correction, is gonna try and make the game with that 50 million. And guess what? They're probably gonna do their best. They're probably gonna make a good game. But then you have companies like, for example, EA making FIFA, and they can just copy paste. But besides that, you got companies like EA, Activision having this insane amount of budgets for games. They have basically you can give the directing fucking department to anybody, to a random, and place them to work on an Activision game. They don't need to worry about the budget. They just have to worry to not cross $1 billion. That's it.
So,
They,
but
they, they,
I don't understand.
yes, yes,
Giving the freedom to have more money should always be better.
but that's the thing. It isn't nowadays too. You have seen how like these companies get millions and billions and millions and billions of dollars, and they end up dropping trash. Look at Ant-Man.
That doesn't
Look at
mean
any Marvel thing.
that doesn't mean then now take their money away so they can make a better product. That'll make them make a less quality product because they have no freedom of what they want to do.
And guess what? These companies with insane budgets, they're making less quality products. The biggest games of this year have been from companies that like are not that like either came out of nowhere. I mean, the company from Baldur's Gate haven't making like these kind of games before, but nobody like you. I didn't know them. You didn't know them. Nobody in this chat knew who they
But
were unless you played.
they
Like,
didn't succeed because they had less money than Nintendo or Square Enix. They succeeded because they
they made a good game.
they had a passionate team. They used their money in the right way. And it wasn't because they had less money than their competitors. No, they just made a
Yes, they
better
did.
product. They just made a better product, and that's fine. Like we can be
They had
biased.
a
We
very
can be
good-
biased and say I think Persona 3 is worth it because I like the company, I like the game, I like the series, rather than
But I'm not
Forspoken.
being biased.
I mean, it's a
But I'm-
bias
but
because
I'm
I
not
could be
being
biased and say Tekken 7, 8. I mean, excuse me, Tekken 8's worth 70, even though it's really not. But I can say that's worth $70 because
Bro's
I'm
taking a
biased
wild
towards
L.
fighting
How am
games.
I taking a wild AL, fucking Void? You don't talk.
No,
Anyways.
it's because that I just don't understand that logic.
What, that less like less money? Look at regular show. That show could have been in fucking Adult Swim, and guess what? It wasn't Cartoon Network. And the fact that they had to censor a lot of shit gave them a lot of creativity as to how to get around. Yeah, that's a weird comparison, but if you think about it, that's how money works too. Having less money makes you think, okay, how can I get through? Like, this part of the game would take me a lot of money. How can I either make it the same quality but have a less budget? And they think about that. They spend hours talking with several people in a share, thinking how they can use less money but make something the same quality as they wanted.
Okay,
if they
okay,
had
yeah,
the
I'm
budget.
not denying that people with less money probably do use the resources wisely. But I think if that same company had more money, they wouldn't have to stress about how can we fix this, make this texture not look as bad, how can we just kind of cut through. I feel like if that same company making that game trying to squeeze by their budget, if they had 10 million more dollars, they could have been like, oh, I can breathe. Okay, so we can get this person to work on this, we can give them more time, and we can pay you. I feel like that's just like way better.
Sadly, these small companies that wish they had $10 million, they sadly don't get that. But
I know, but
big games,
they make it
big
work, yeah.
companies with big budgets, they get endless amounts of pocket money, and they end up with a shitty product. I know. Basically, I'm saying Atlas good, other companies bad. I'm not even saying that. I think Atlas has they literally work in Sega. They have a lot of employees. They have a lot of resources. They really don't. Sega's about to go bankrupt for the fucking 14 billionth time. But they somehow push through. I don't know how. Yes,
I mean, I can't say why a AAA game is bad with a big budget. I don't know why. It could be going to their dogs. I don't know, instead of the animators or the writers. It probably does. I don't know. But all I'm saying is the big budget doesn't hurt people. It can only help.
If you
I don't
gave
know.
Fortnite
I don't know
less
why
money, it would
big
be
company
shit.
games are bad. I don't know. I can say it again. I don't play games. I just talk about stuff and just play Fortnite, right?
Here's the thing, Void. Fortnite has been shit. I don't know what you're talking about.
But it's not the money's fault. It's not the money's fault.
It
It's
is
not
the money's fault. They
no.
literally fired so many employees recently.
It's not the money's fault that made them it bad. No, it's
Yes, it
it's
is.
way deeper than just like they had a lot of money and they're like, you know what, have a lot of money. Yeah, no, that's not what it was.
But here's the thing: Fortnite is also a bad example because they really don't need to try anymore.
I mean, true, but yeah.
You're coming after only greedy companies to make a point that don't work. When you look at literally every other company, I think every company is greedy. Period.
True. I mean, yeah, every company is greedy.
I don't even know what you said. You're coming after only greedy companies to make a point that don't work when you look at literally every other company. I think neither does COD. COD is just a bad company. COD is just a bad franchise in general nowadays. You really can't defend Call of Duty. No matter what, Call of Duty is just bad.
I think what is saying like we can use COD and say, or COD or 2K and say they're greedy, that they're still using the same amount of money as they used for the past 3 games, but like charging more than rather saying Baldur's Gate.
What's another good example? What game came out last? Saints Row. That was $100 million, and that game literally shut down an entire company. That was an open world.
What do you mean by shut down?
Volition. They are the people that made Saints Row, Red Faction, Guerrilla. This company that technically.
No, yeah. You mean shut down meaning they literally shut down, or like
they literally shut down. They do not exist anymore.
Okay.
So this company that technically, and here's another example. This company is not as big as other company. Hell, this company shouldn't even be considered AAA. it wasn't considered AAA. It was at best considered AA, and even then it wasn't considered. It was basically an indie company, and this is not. This is also an example for just indie developers too. I'm not defending indie developers. Yeah, they're fucking. They probably make a game with $2,000, like a goddamn Undertale, bro. That shit made that shit was an Indiegogo. I don't know how much money it costed. I forgot. But here's the thing: these companies that also are small in scale and small in developers and have this insane amount of budget, and it literally shut down a company. Why? The game was bad. It had $100 million, the same amount of money as Forspoken, the same amount of money as Baldur's
Again,
Gate. It was bigger than Baldur's Gate, and guess what? It wasn't even better than Forspoken. There, too, and I respect Forspoken. I actually prefer Forspoken over Saints Row.
again, so that's right. They used 100 million on a game and it was still bad. So we're criticizing the end product. So do you know what went into their 100 million in Saint Row? Did it actually go to the game, or did it go to something else? Did it go to the director's pocket? Did it go
Oh,
like
all right.
we don't know that.
Let me find a video. Let me find. I think it was either Matt McMuscles or fucking goddamn Nerd Slayer. Either of them made a video talking about goddamn Saints Row, and they have actual developers that worked on the game, multiple developers, QA testers, actual person that actually did a lot of the coding, especially for what was supposed to be the characters and their gameplay and stuff like that. They misplaced the budget horribly. It was a horrible, horrible, horrible process.
So they
It was
just
horrible
misplaced
for
it.
all the
That
developers.
doesn't mean that they had money. It was bad. It's just they misplaced it. They just used it in the wrong ways.
Yeah, which is what I've been saying, that they misused the budget and that they're misplacing it by not using it in the game. A lot of these companies don't use that budget and they just pocket it at the end.
I don't know
They,
that.
that is true though.
They might have 100 million budget and pocket 60 of it and use 30 for the game. Maybe. I don't know, but there's no proof. I don't know. I'm not in their area or their office to say where the budget actually goes and see the numbers. Okay, $1 went. I don't know. So I'm just saying, they probably did misplace it. They didn't use it in the right areas, but that doesn't mean that they had more. It was doomed to fail or bound to fail.
They had a lot of money. These companies, I forgot who owns them. I think it's Gearbox, which is the people that are
Money doesn't
behind.
equal quality, but neither does less money. That's just not it. Yeah, that's
It
my
does-
main.
it-
That's my main thing.
Money doesn't always equal, doesn't also equal good things, but it does equal knowing where to use your resources on what, when, why, those kind of things.
I mean,
you
same
know?
thing with more money, right? You just
No,
have more to
no.
spend. Yeah. It's
No,
the same
it
difference.
does not. It does not. I generally think that companies that have this insane amount of budgets try to put so much shit into the game, and then once they realize they don't have the budget to make that part of the game, they scrap it. It happens to so many games. I mean, games obviously scrap shit, but any recent game as of recent has so much scrap shit they can make another game with it.
Okay, so let's say you get paid $200 at your job.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I have $200. I can spend this, buy that, buy that. What if you had $1,000? You can spend this, spend that, and buy that. Do you think it's better that you had 200 that you can think, okay, well, I have to buy this, I have to wait to buy that, I have to kind of get this, pay this halfway, rather than having 1,000 and saying, okay, I can pay this, pay that, and also get a cheeseburger on the side? Like, do you think that's a better situation? Like games saying, okay, I have to kind of make this work for my game. I wish I had more money. Rather than saying, okay, I can just get this person. I can hire this voice actor. Do you think that's better for like you to have less money? Even if you're thinking more critically about your money, it doesn't mean it's like a better outcome. You're actually losing in the end.
That is a good take, honestly. But even then, I do not think it's really just about how you just spend it. Like
Right.
I know
Again,
that
yeah,
was the
you're
whole
right.
thing.
You're right. Yeah.
I know that was the whole thing about, oh, if you have more money, you can get all the things you have plus get more for yourself. That is true. But that is just being like it makes sense at the same time it doesn't because we're all poor.
So again, so my thing is
obviously I want $1 billion.
so
Give
my
me
my
$1
my
billion.
main thing is I think companies should have as much money as they need to make a product, but we have the right to criticize the end product with said money. And if you are going to spend a lot of money on a game, let's see what is actually in the game to justify 70. Not that the fact that it's on a next gen console, because 2K, not 70 worthy. P3, debatable. I don't think it's worth 70. Tekken 8, I don't think that's worth 70, even though it's on a next console.
I don't think any fighting game should be 70.
True. So again, we can be biased and say it's worth 70 or whatever the price because we're the ones buying it and we trust the company rather than a different game. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the gist of it, I think.
I don't think The Last of Us should have been 70 either.
Last of Us also, yeah, should not have been 70.
Like look. The Last of Us fucking 2 and then The Last of Us Part 1. Part 1 was $60. You know what Part 1 was? It was like the remake of like Last of Us, which came out on the PS3, PS4, yada yada. It was fucking $60. That game should not fit $60, no matter what. And the game is high quality. The game looks pretty. It has ultra wide support. Fucking it looks beautimous if you're into that shit. But it's fucking like fucking.
Okay, but
We
again,
have so many versions of fucking Last of Us 1.
yeah.
Bro.
So I
Golly.
understand where you're coming from, but again, we don't know exactly where money goes. So that's just my thing. Okay, yeah.
For Atlas, it probably goes into.
I mean, for Atlas, it could just go to the pet cat. You don't
For-
know that.
for-
You don't
for
know
At-
that. We really don't know.
For Atlas, it probably goes into two things, mainly. Probably just the designs of the characters. 'Cause there's a lot. There's a lot of characters in this game. There's a lot of personas. There's a lot of just lots and lots of drawing, how to censor shit. Because there's a giant penis persona that everybody loves.
Oh
especially
my god,
YouTube.
here y'all go.
But that's just obviously speculations. You can't know until they straight out say, "Hey, we spent the money on foot massagers because our employees were hurting."
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You don't know.
Dude,
where
that'll
the
be
money
fire.
goes.
Actually, you know what? Fucking companies, stop spending. Spend like at least like $5,000 on foot massagers, bro. I know
that'd be pretty inexpensive for them, actually.
The carpets are gonna be fucking nightmares to clean, but you know what? Your employees will be happy. Can you interview Dr. Tara? Who the fuck is Dr. Tara?
Who is that? Get on her stream, Dr. Tara. Are they safe to look up on stream? Tara Swart.
Let me tell the guys that we can play
Her?
right now.
The Asian. What she talked about. What does she do? Sex education through open-minded and fun conversation with experts, celebs, and friends. Hi, I'm Dr. Tara, a sex and relationship expert, tenured professor. Okay, I'm not laughing at her, but that's just pretty funny. You want me to interview her? I don't know. I don't know if I'd interview her, but I mean, where is she located? Did they stream 9 months ago? Unless they stream on something else. I mean, I can maybe make it happen. I don't know. Dr. Tara's the best. Y'all know her? Is she like super popular?
Dr. Tara.
I've
Yo,
never
let me
heard
know
of
my
anything
questions are
about
valid, chat.
Tara
Let me know
or whatever the
my
fuck.
questions are valid.
Why did he become an expert? Create sex stories? Someone in the chat. Oh my god. Oh my god, he's just. I mean, okay, I can try. I mean, I don't know.
Why did you become a sex/relationship expert? But yeah, that's crazy. I mean, have you?
Bro was nervous, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's
Reaction
up.
acting bad. Are you able to watch the stream? Probably like on like 160p.
I feel like everyone should like do it once a day at least, right?
Daily masturbation is healthy. Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna grill her, bro. No way. No, it's not. I don't care if you. Nah. Daily, bruh? Oh my, you wasting all your energy on that, bruh. Hell nah, bruh.
What?
Daily masturbation? Hell no. I'm not. No. you will your health will deteriorate, your mental will deteriorate, your dopamine triggers and your sensors will like lust for more. You're gonna have a higher chance of erectile dysfunction. Like hell no. No. Probably on TikTok. Yeah, I'm guessing. I'm guessing so. I mean, I need to do a little bit of research before I do that, but like, I disagree. I disagree. Yeah, if you want to see this happen, yeah, just yeah. I guess stay tuned. I'll try. I don't know. I am a itty bitty creator. The size matter? Hey, the size matter, bro. Look, if size don't matter, then look, a small channel can also talk to you. Hey, okay.